My ex-husband cheated on me 5 years ago, and I found out when he texted me instead of her. That ended our marriage, but the divorce was amicable. I told him I couldn't forgive him, and he said he was sorry, and we moved on. By then, he was worth a small fortune, a company, commercial properties, and a lake house. I got half of everything, and I'm a silent partner at his company, getting returns twice a year. As an apology, he also gave me our apartment and our lake house. It goes without saying that I don't need to work, but I still do because I love my career. He moved on with his affair girlfriend. I don't know much about them since it still pains me, but I only know that they're still together. She contacted me on LinkedIn, telling me that since his divorce has cost him so much money, he's told her that he never wanted to get married again, not when they can move in together. And she blames me because I took everything. She's now pregnant, but according to her, this hasn't changed his attitude towards moving in together or marriage. So now she's accusing me of being a thief who's basically stealing her baby's chances of having a family. I didn't need the money because I had a good job and everything was my ex-husband's. I took advantage of him because he felt guilty. I haven't spoken to my ex in 5 years. I haven't even had the strength to answer him back every New Year to tell him to stop texting me Happy New Year because that's when we met. I don't even know what to do. Is she right, or should I ignore her? Am I the idiot for not giving my ex-husband back his money? Hello, store I robbed. Why do you lock your doors now? It's very inconvenient for me. So the homewrecker's blaming you for his fate? That's rich. Not the idiot. Just block and ignore her. She played a stupid game and won a stupid prize. Enjoy your money. This is probably the best right answer, but I'm old, jaded, and just a little vicious. Personally, I'd send screenshots of her text to your ex-husband. I bet you she pursued him because of his money, and now he won't marry or move in with her even after she got pregnant. Something tells me she tried to baby trap him. At least she can get hefty child support for 18 years. She expected to get the guy and all of the marital property. It's not your fault this loony person didn't understand that marital property is half yours. Send the message to your ex. Politely tell him that you don't appreciate his girlfriend contacting you to ask for money and to complain about their relationship status. Ask him to have a conversation with her about leaving you alone. I've seen a lot of women who think this guy has a good job, a nice house, and a luxury car, and chase after him, but also don't consider that his wife of 10, 20, 30 years is entitled to half-ish of everything, and the guy could end up paying child support, college cost, and/or alimony after divorce. Also, the guy and his first wife may have built a good lifestyle based on their spending and savings and investing decisions. However, the second wife who didn't work for that money or invested slowly over time may not have the interest or personality to add to the household wealth. That's the kind of woman who marries the guy and then complains that he doesn't have as much money as she thought. Yeah, he has half as much money, more expenses, and the added burden of maintaining the expectations of the new wife and girlfriend. You deserved everything you got in the divorce. Keep it. Enjoy the lake house. I'm sure your ex can buy another one. Update. Thank you, everyone, for the fast response. I was considering one of 3 options. Tell her off, tell him and forward her message to him, or ignore and block her. The majority are suggesting the latter, and I'm inclined towards that too. To start this off, I'm a Muslim woman who wears the hijab. I cover my hair and most of my body. I do not judge those who do not do the same, nor do I try to impose my beliefs onto others. Everyone will have their own personal journey, and just as I know I'm not perfect, I can't judge others for it either. I, 23 female, recently went to a friend's bachelorette party. Women only, no drinks, just girls being girls and celebrating a friend's soon-to-be marriage. Maya, 24 female, has been a friend of mine since kindergarten, and I'm more than happy to be a part of such a big part of her life. She isn't religious, but she accepts my views and is even going to let me wear a more modest style abaya as her maid of honor. This is to say, Maya understands the hijab and what it means to me, or so I thought. At the party, I took it off as it was just women. We were going to sleep over anyways, so I didn't think anyone was expecting me to sleep in the thing. I always find it funny how they react when they get to see my hair, like I'm secretly Rapunzel or something. We watched a movie, took photos and videos, and generally had a good time. I had no problems with the photos being taken, since my friends are usually respectful and don't post them anywhere. It just stays in our group chat. We went to sleep, and the next day, everything was normal. We cleaned up and I drove home, finally checking my phone. I opened Instagram to the tagged icon and checked it to see myself and the girls on Maya's public account. I quickly messaged Maya, asking her to take it down before anyone else saw, as I couldn't control whether or not some guy was going to see her post, and she refused, saying that there were no other good photos of her. I asked her to simply crop me out or even draw over my hair and neck, but she said that it would look wrong and that I'm overreacting. I insisted that I wasn't, and that she knew I couldn't show my hair to just anyone. Instead of responding to me, she took it to the group chat as some sort of counsel. Half of them agreed that she shouldn't have posted a photo of me without my hijab, and a couple others told me I was overreacting, and no one cared besides me. I should note that one of the most vocal of them who disagreed generally doesn't like me, so she would have disagreed regardless of what I said. Most of us are urging her to take down the post, and now she's claiming we're putting her under a lot of stress, with the wedding only a week away. But I don't see what that has to do with this. Am I really being unreasonable for wanting to be respected? Am I the idiot? Edit. There were about 40 photos, and I was only in 6 of them. People are under the impression that I was in every photo taken. I wasn't. Yet I was in almost half of those which were posted. All of the ones posted were candids. Not the idiot. She's not your friend. If a friend of mine asked me to remove a photo with them in it, for whatever reason, they'd be removed from the photo before the day ended. My friends can trust me 100% that I won't put them in a position that makes them uncomfortable. But at this point, you have no control. You can ask her to remove the photo, but you can't control it. Learn from this and don't trust her again. You can't let your guard down around everyone. Everyone's the idiot. If you knew photos were being taken, you probably should have stayed covered up, since at that point, you relinquish control over who sees them. I realize that they usually stay within the group chat, but even then, spouses, SOs, and parents may be privy to them. You probably should have said something to the photographer at the time they took the pics. They probably should have thought about the implications of showing pictures of you with your hair uncovered. I, a young teen female, have a sister who's also my age. I have a June birthday, so I'm among the younger ones in the grade. My sister, Eliza, has a birthday in September of the same year. We aren't biological sisters. I'm technically her cousin genetically. So while I'm one of the younger ones in my grade, Eliza is one of the eldest in hers. She's a grade lower due to the age cutoff. We attend a small private school with only one class per grade, about 20 to 30 kids. The school recently recommended that she be skipped a grade because she's advanced. My parents jumped at the opportunity because they've been trying to convince the school to let her in my grade forever. I got really upset because a few years ago, the school offered me the same opportunity. However, my parents denied it because I was too young. But since Eliza has a later birthday, my parents see no problem with her moving up a grade. This made me incredibly mad, and I yelled at them for being hypocritical about who could skip a grade just because of birthdays. I said it was stupid to base our academic abilities based on our ages. I said that they were holding me back but allowing Eliza to move up just because she was older. My parents told me I was being immature about the situation and needed to get over it because keeping Eliza a grade below me wasn't fair. I was even more livid when they said that because I meet the qualifications just as much as she does to move up. I could have been an incoming junior, but they denied me the opportunity because I was younger in the grade. However, they want Eliza to move up to sophomore year just because she has a birthday right after the cutoff date. I've been giving them the silent treatment for the past few days, and now I'm wondering, am I the idiot? Edit. Eliza's been rubbing it in my face about how we're going to be in the same grade and how it must suck not being smart enough to skip a grade. She's been trying to get under my skin the last few days to rub salt in the wound. I'm leaning toward not the idiot. Siblings in the same grade can cause massive conflict. Eliza may not be as mature as she's getting in your face about it. Ignore Eliza. Keep your eyes on the prize. Getting a college scholarship and getting out of Dodge. Focus on ACT and SAT prep and aim for the highest super score you can get. Next time she gives you crap about skipping a grade, look her straight in the eye and say, "The school also wanted me to skip a grade, But our parents thought you were too weak to see me move ahead of you again. It's a pity you're so pathetic. You seem more mature than some people here. Hear me out, OP. You're the perfect candidate for living well is the best revenge. Forget Eliza. Who cares if she thinks she's smarter than you? Maybe that's what she needs. In 3 more years, you'll be leaving her behind. Make nice with your parents, apologize, kiss their butts. You're going to need them to fill out your FAFSA. My husband and I had been together for 7 years. I have a young teen son with my ex and an infant with my husband. Since I gave birth, my husband's been weird. He's super hands-on and attentive, loves our daughter more than anything, and has been super helpful overall. But he's changed. His patience with my older son is completely gone. He's quick to snap and say that we don't respect him. He often says, "I worked all darn day," when it comes to darn near everything. He's been incredibly stressed out about finances. He often vents and tells me he feels like he's failing and isn't providing enough. Since I know there's a deep-rooted issue and that therapy would probably be a good thing, but he always says, "I don't have the time for therapy. I'm always working," even though he works 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. with the rest of the day off, and every Thursday and Friday he has days off. I work from home with a flexible schedule, but the same overall hours as him. Anyway, not even 3 months ago, I literally told him that if he didn't change, I couldn't stay. He was acting bipolar, laughing one minute and being absolutely angry about seemingly nothing the next. He was persistent and pleaded that he would do better, and he absolutely did up until 2 weeks ago. So we were all hanging out in the kitchen, kids included, and I let my son hang out later than bedtime because we were having a good time playing board games. My husband was okay with this until he wasn't. I guess that's the best way to put it. Everything was fine and then he snapped. I'd gotten up to get a drink of water and my husband said, "All right, enough, it's past your bedtime." My son goes, "Oh, come on, just a little bit later." And my husband snaps. He starts raising his voice, basically screaming about how no one respects him. My son immediately retreated to his room. I'm silent. I start washing the dishes and avoiding eye contact. He goes, "Great, now you're darn angry at me too?" This admittedly made me lash out. Maybe because I'm fed up, I don't know. I yelled at him, told him that maybe if he respected us or gave us something to respect, then this wouldn't be an issue. He then says, "What the heck is there for me to respect?" And then he slams out of the house and leaves. It's like 11 p.m. at this point. I text him and tell him not to come home. He doesn't. He slept in his vehicle and went to work the next morning like nothing happened. I packed up the kids and me while he was at work. I obviously left a lot behind, so I left a note on the table saying, "I'll be back for the rest of our stuff when I'm able." I then went to the courthouse and got the divorce papers. I had to get an attorney to understand how to fill them out, so it took me a little over a week. But once I had it all completed, I brought him the paperwork for him to sign. He had been texting and calling the entire time I was gone, begging us to come home. He said he was sorry and obviously respects us, but he's just really been stressed out and didn't understand why you'd let James stay up so late, knowing I had to work the next day. He kept saying that the kids and I were the only reason he hadn't lost himself completely. Says he'll get therapy, etc. But I just don't trust him anymore. So I went there and handed him the divorce papers. He was essentially blindsided because he thought we would be able to work this out. He's refusing to sign the papers now, which I'm not super concerned about. But almost everyone I know is against me on this because he apologized, and he obviously didn't mean it. He was just stressed and think that I should just work it out with him because he was absolutely perfect up until I gave birth, and the stress of finance is starting to weigh on him. He's never been good in high-stress environments, but it's been 6 months straight, and I can't do it anymore. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I'm just stressed? Yeah, well, that happens to everyone, and it's not a free excuse to abuse your family. It's obvious you've tried and tried to encourage him to do something for himself. Good for you for doing what's best for your children. They don't deserve to live like that. I'm sure it hurts, but he's just saying whatever he thinks will make you come home. Exactly. Having 2 parents in the house isn't more important than modeling healthy behavior in relationships. The son, baby, daughter, and OP will be constantly tense, waiting for the next explosion to erupt, walking on eggshells because every little thing sets off the husband for no reason. Best to make a clean break. The husband changed in the weirdest way, and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. Heard this great saying: respect can mean different things. It can mean treat someone with basic dignity, or it can mean treat someone as a superior. So when someone says, if you don't respect me, I won't respect you, they're saying, if you don't treat me as a superior, I won't treat you with basic dignity. My son's and daughter-in-law's wedding is at the end of June. Originally, they were tight on money and were upset over the price of flowers. It wasn't in their budget, and they had a very specific image. I looked at prices for what they wanted, and it was out of my own budget. I instead offered to do what they wanted with fake flowers. They agreed and sent over images for me to use. I've spent over $500 buying all the stuff and on my own time. They turned out great. I got a call about 2 weeks ago saying that they won't need them anymore and that they have the money to have real flowers. They already booked it. So in short, all my time was for nothing. My daughter was over and commented on how cute the flowers were. She asked if I could make her some for her baby shower. I explained what had happened and told her she could have them. Her baby shower was over the weekend, and she used the flowers on the table. It was a nice event. Then my son and daughter-in-law came up and we got into an argument. They think I'm a jerk for using their flowers for someone else's event, and now everyone will think they copied my daughter for their wedding. My point was that I could give them away to whoever, and I don't think it was a big deal since they were used. Instead of me just throwing them out, someone got to use them. Am I the idiot for giving the flowers I made for my son and daughter-in-law's wedding to my own daughter's baby shower? Bride: even though I'm not using your fake flowers, they were based on something I thought about, and now you can't use them for anything else. Even though I'm not going to use them, they must be for me forever, because I'm the only one who has this design, and if you let someone else see it, then they won't think it's my original design. Rest of the world: you don't own flower designs. You did nothing wrong, and I'm pretty sure they didn't send you a payment for your time, labor, and effort in making all those centerpieces. You had a nice time, and the couple was completely wrong. Not the idiot, but you raised an ungrateful son, and he's marrying an ungrateful woman. It was very rich of them to call them their flowers, when not 1 cent was paid to reimburse mom for her wasted efforts. Also, who the heck is going to notice that they're the same flowers at a wedding weeks later? Who the heck do they think would even care enough to compare? How absurd. They owe you $500 and an apology. They didn't provide either.